Hi, I'm Annie Lichny, and I want to thank you for joining in for some meditation and mindfulness practice today. We're going to explore some practices to help calm our nervous system down. And many times we feel that agitated, restless, just kind of uneasy feeling. And that feeling, when we start to understand those feelings in our body, those feelings are pointing to us that we are dysregulated in our nervous system. And that dysregulation means there are practices we can do for ourselves that can bring us back into a regulated nervous system state, a calm and ready and confident state, and very aware and present and really in your life. So we're going to be working with practices in the body, bringing our focus, using our focus, bringing it into the body. And as soon as we start to bring our own focus inside of ourselves, it is an indication to the nervous system it's time to calm down. So we go from being agitated, uneasy, restless, to more content and happier. And that's what we all want, is to be happier. So we're going to use various practices that science has been shown to really help stabilize the nervous system and move us out of stress and into calm. And we're going to start with tapping. And I'm just going to start and give us guidance here with tapping, going through the body parts. And you can either do this sitting up or laying down. If you're in a seated posture, again, just come into a comfortable posture where your body can relax, but your spine is upright and dignified. And just start by using a gentle tapping along your head. This is an automatic signal to the nervous system that there are no threats. There's nothing wrong. Everything is okay. And it tells the nervous system to calm and come into that parasympathetic state, that rest and digest state. And that's where we're taking ourselves today. So you can move down the skull, the back of the neck, where the skull meets the back of the neck. That is the hub of activity of our nervous system between the brain and the body. We can let it know everything is okay. If you'd like to lay down and do this, you can, and just modify the tapping. And then we'll go to our face. And if you want to close your eyes, really feel the contact of your fingers against your skin. Just stay really present right here now that we're getting started. Around your forehead, the eyebrows, that space between the eyebrows. Tap with one hand or both. Across the temples, around the eyes, cheekbones, the back of the jaw, down to the chin, across the lips. Really tap also on the ears. Just very gentle. These are just soothing taps for ourselves, by ourselves. And down the neck. We tend to hold tension in the throat and the neck. And this can really help shift our nervous system into a rest state and release that stress. And then come again to the back of the neck, below the head. And then the tops of the shoulders, you can start to pat or just still use your fingertips. And then we're going to pat or tap across our our chest here, the top part just below the clavicle bone. And then down the chest toward the rib cage, especially in the center area. And relax the body. Feel the vibration of the tapping. If you want to have a closed fist hand, you can do that. And then back up to the top part of the lung, the top part of the chest, just below the shoulders. And then we'll take one hand and go from your shoulder, top of your shoulder, tapping along the other arm, and then down the arm, up the underside of the arm, into the armpit, down the side a little bit. And then we'll switch hands and do the other chest. And then up to the shoulder, down the arm to the hand, and then back up the inside of the arm to the armpit, down the side a little bit, and then we'll come down to the lower part of the rib cage. Really feel this vibration between your hand and the body, right on the lowest part of the rib cage. And then into the belly. We have a tremendous amount of nerve endings that are all intertwined within our digestive system, attached to the vagus nerve. And this is a wonderful way below the belly button here, just making this rhythmic tapping for yourself. Really fall into this rhythm for yourself and soothe these nerve endings in the vagus nerve down here in the digestive system. That's why they call it rest and digest. When we're in a stress response, the automatic digestive system is shut down a bit. And this is the way to encourage better digestion in the rest and digest response of the nervous system. So now we'll go down the legs, the outside of the legs, and then come back up the inside and really tap along in the groin area. And we'll go down again. And come back up and tap in the groin area. If by chance you're laying down and doing this, you can just see if you can tap along on the top parts of your leg and definitely around your pelvis and groin if possible. And again, if you're laying down, you want to tap along your sides here. If you're sitting, tap up and down your back, lower back to up over the kidneys. Just finding this rhythm. Our bodies love rhythms and patterns. And you'll find that your body will crave this kind of tapping. If you start to do it for a few minutes every day regularly, you'll feel like you're really missing if you don't do it. And we'll come back to the front, the rib cage, a little more caring tapping in the lungs, and then moving up to the top of the lungs. And then we'll just slowly have our hands resting on our lap. And if your eyes have been open up until now, we can close them down. And just feel this experience of the tapping in the body. notice this kind of fizzy, bubbly sensation. I feel kind of right now like a glass of sparkling water. Everything is just bubbling and alive. There's this electrical, glowing aliveness from this simple act of tapping, using our own hands and tapping along our own bodies with our own focus within us. Really stay within, feeling through the whole body. We could start to actually even expand this idea of starting to take a look within ourselves, within our body, with our own focus. And this also is very soothing to our nervous system and to our emotional system, our mental systems. They all start to just quiet down when we bring our own focus within. So we can explore through the feet and really feel this tingling and aliveness through this tapping. Perhaps we can feel it in the soles of our feet and through our tops of our feet and our ankles. Really, really stay focused here. If our thinking mind starts to wander and pull us into more stressful kinds of thoughts like worries or to-do list kinds of ideas or whatever we're looping about in our thoughts, can we just turn the volume down on that gently and just really take our focus, our mind's wonderful ability to focus, and just bring it here into the body in stillness here as we're still now after the tapping, and yet we feel this incredible aliveness possibly within the body because of the tapping. So we can start running through the sensations and the textures of this bubbling aliveness, electrical, shimmery kind of quality through the feet and ankles, moving up the legs, really feeling the sensations through our knees and through our thighs. Noticing that each body part really has its own sense of sensations and textures and really personality as well. All of our parts feel a little bit different from one another. Exploring through the thighs, really feeling the strength of the muscles in our thighs, our bones, the blood flow. We tend to pay attention to discomfort and really don't necessarily notice this aliveness, this tingling that we can encourage within ourselves. And it's a very calming, tingling aliveness that we can enhance and grow and really become more content and happy through recognizing the sensations in our body, coming in through our pelvis, noticing here in the lower body in general if there are places or pockets of discomfort, of tightness, of density, maybe from an injury or some kind of ailment. Just honoring that that's there and acknowledging it without that complaining mind kicking in. Just feel it, feel the texture, feel the discomfort, even a little bit if it's possible. When we honor all parts of ourselves, the good and the uncomfortable, this is a wonderful way to just acknowledge ourselves in our complexity, our fullness, because we are all of it. We are the yin and the yang. So we can come up through the pelvis, feeling the lower back, maybe noticing that tapping. We still feel perhaps some residual tingling in the back or along our pelvis or our lower belly. Coming up through the chest, the rib cage area, really feeling that the rib cage is open, receiving breath in and out of the nose here as we breathe through our amazing lungs and bring energy and oxygen into our bodies through these lungs. This is why we sit upright if we're in a seated posture here, to allow the full lung to receive the oxygen. Coming up through, noticing the sensations within our torso, up to our shoulders. Maybe there's this aliveness, perhaps there's some density or tightness. If we notice some sense of tightness across the rib cage, perhaps, or in the chest area, can we just acknowledge this and be open and accepting of whatever shows up? Coming up through our shoulders, we tend to hold on to a lot of emotional and physical and mental tightness and tension. That stress mode shows up in our shoulders frequently. Can we notice if there's any tightness or tension here and invite a releasing and a letting go? Feeling a sense of greater openness, less uneasiness and tightness throughout our whole body up to this point. Just check in. Coming down through our arms, feeling our joints, feeling our wrists, joints, down through our fingers, our hands, noticing we might still again feel this residual from the tapping of this tingling through our hands, this aliveness. The suggestion to the nervous system that calm and confident and readiness is the state we're encouraging within the body and to carry us for the rest of the day. Just feeling the sensations, acknowledging any tightness, honoring whatever is here and coming close to these feelings. Really stay really focused in the body with the textures, with whatever we notice. We could come in through the throat and notice the throat is both open and spacious. At the same time, it can feel very raw and uneasy. Breathing in and out of the nose, recognizing what sensations are there in our own throats individually. Can you notice any of this raw, caged energy in your throat? At the same time, it's open, spacious, moving oxygen in and CO2 out through this open space. Could we come into our face and recognize, if we start to explore our own structure of our face, this face that we show the world, that sometimes the thinking mind is running in looping in sometimes stressed thoughts, and at the same time we have this face that's trying to show a happy side. Can we kind of merge the happiness we want the external world to see from our face and encourage a happiness within our own thinking mind as well. Encouraging goodness for ourselves through our own thoughts, through our own care, like we're doing here for ourselves. And maybe we can feel this tension, this thinking mind tension, and tension that builds up through all of our distractions and our very busy lives. Can we feel it in our forehead? Can we release and soften just by bringing our focus? Our mind's ability to focus is so valuable. It sends signals through our body. When we focus on ourselves, inside ourselves, it truly sends signals to the nervous system that everything is calm, there are no problems. Everything is okay. Noticing maybe an ease and a lightness coming through our forehead as we recognize ourselves and this tension that we carry, and trying to honor that with our own intentional thoughts of goodness and care for ourselves. Can we feel through our eyes all the tiny little muscles around our eyes that are always strained with our eyesight looking externally in so many different directions every single day? Honoring the work that they do. Can we feel behind our eyes? Just feel this open spaciousness that is available when we just take some time to stop and acknowledge our inner selves. Feeling through the jaw, the tongue, really feeling through our focus. Noticing this tension that builds in our jaw. If we drop the jaw just even half of an inch, can we invite some softening? Opening, melting away of tightness and tension. Honoring our whole face. In our mind's eye, can we see our face, our own face? Honoring our face, the social structure of our face. Inviting a lightness, an easiness, a care across our face. Using our own focus to do that. Where we bring our own focused energy can create, dissolve, move, shift from stress into lightness, easiness, happiness, contentedness, more flexibility in our lives, more kindness in our own inner dialogue, more care within our own inner dialogue when we acknowledge all that we're holding on to, and we can just make a little more space for all of it. Our ability to focus in this way, use our complete and total focus, in addition to using this tapping technique, are excellent ways to build a calm, confident, happy, contented mood and shift our nervous system into rest and digest and a healthier overall well-being in life. Thank you so much for your time. And I'm wishing you a wonderful, healthy, happy day.